Hey everyone, Ryan here, or M&R Productions, and every year in February, I produce a video talking about every LEGO Star Wars set that is supposed to retire by the end of the year. And usually I don't feel the need to produce an update to that, because LEGO usually makes very few changes to the retiring sets list. But this year, there are 7 sets that have had their shelf life extended that I talked about back in February of this year. So I thought it was worthwhile to make a video telling you which sets you don't need to buy in the immediate future, and you'll still have the opportunity to buy in 2025 or even 2026. It's also worthwhile to tell you that the retiring soon page on lego.com is not a very comprehensive list. So if you don't see a set on there, it doesn't mean it's not retiring. And then I'm going to briefly go through all of the sets that are retiring in the next 3 months. I've set aside 5 that I think are complete stayaways and 5 that I think are absolute must-buys for you. So I think I've got some good advice for you in this video. And the last piece of advice, I say this in my video in February, but don't wait 3 months to buy these sets. Do not wait until December 31st at midnight, the time they retire, to buy them, because it's likely they'll actually sell out well before then with the Christmas rush and all. So just keep that in mind going into this. But first off, the 7 sets that you don't really need to worry about now because they actually won't be retiring until 2025 or 2026. And the first one is actually one that I said in my video in February that I thought was retiring too soon, and LEGO ended up extending it into 2025. It's the 75357, the Ghost and Phantom 2, and I actually saw this one on discount at my local LEGO store when I went to pick up the UCS Jabba sail barge the other day. So keep an eye out for a sale on this set. It might not be retiring for like another year at this point, but you might be getting the best price around now. So just keep your eye out on that one. And certainly Amazon might have it on sale because it is an Amazon exclusive. These next 6 sets have supposedly had their retirement pushed all the way into 2026. So you have even more time to buy them. But starting with the 75304 Darth Vader helmet, I thought this one was actually overdue to retire as it's already been out over 3 years. However, seeing as the helmet line is rumored to now continue in 2025, maybe LEGO wants to keep more helmets around to go along with whatever else they're going to be releasing. So I think the Darth Vader extension now makes a little more sense, even though I think the mouth still looks terrible. We also have an extension on the 75356 Super Star Destroyer, which I'm really happy to see because I think it's an amazing 10 out of 10 type of set that I really want everyone to be able to go out and buy and enjoy. So you've got a little extra time, or quite a bit of extra time, to go and buy that one now. The 75333 Obi-Wan Starfighter has also been extended, and when I first heard this, I was super surprised to see it be extended. It didn't really make a lot of sense, but there are now rumors that the May 4th set for 2025 is the UCS Jango Fett Slave 1. If you didn't know that, you've been living under a rock, but that Obi-Wan Starfighter will pair perfectly, basically in scale, with that Slave 1, or very close to it, and so I think it's the reason that it has been extended for quite some time now, so that's a really great thing to see. It just makes a lot of sense. The 75345 501st Battle Pack is also seeing an extension. Don't really know why, but it is. The 75347 TIE Bomber is being extended into 2026, which is great because I think that's just a perfect set. Sets that are perfect, like the TIE Bomber and Super Star Destroyer, deserve these long shelf lives, so I love seeing it get its flowers here. So the TIE Bomber will live on for a bit longer, and especially a build that wasn't made by LEGO Star Wars for 20 years. Like, having it only be out for a year and a half would kind of suck, but it's also like a year and a half is still a long time. It's still ample time to buy a TIE Bomber, so I'm also in that boat, but it's been extended, so no worries there. And then finally, the 75354 Coruscant Guard gunship has been extended into 2026, which I think bodes poorly because I was hoping it would retire and be replaced by a new recolor of a Republic gunship, because I just feel like they should be doing as many different color variations of Republic gunships as they can. And like, the figures in it, especially the Fox figure, is just horrible. So why are we going to make people buy that for another year and a half? That just sucks. But either way, it has had its retirement extended. I want to get into the 5 sets that I think are complete stayaways for retiring LEGO Star Wars sets. I should preface this by, like, I say it like it's a complete stayaway. If you want to buy it, just buy it. I'm just giving my opinion here. But in my opinion, the 75359 332nd Battle Pack is a stayaway. I long for the days that they will replace these clone troopers with better versions of them, and I think it will eventually happen at some point. And so buying this now with the worst version of the figure that you'll be able to buy a better version of in hopefully a few years, I don't know, but like, that just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Now the next one is a bit of a gamble, but the 75361 Spider Tank could be a pretty good one to stay away from if you've already got a Mando and Grogu, or if you plan to buy literally any other set from The Mandalorian and end up with a Mando and Grogu. You don't care much about the Spider Tank, and most importantly, the reason to stay away from this set is if you believe that this Bo-Katan figure, which is currently exclusive to the set and could stay exclusive to the set forever, that does happen, and it's not unreasonable to have happen here, but with the Mandalorian movie coming out, Bo-Katan likely going to be part of that movie and hopefully not have her outfit changed, I don't see why they would update this figure. It's already basically a perfect figure to have in future Mandalorian movie sets in 2026. I think the movie comes out, or 25. It can't be next year, can it? I can't remember the year. But the point is, the figure that you probably want this set for will, in my opinion, likely come in another set or two in the future. But at the same time, if you are scared of missing out, about 2 weeks ago, Target and Amazon, I think, both had this set on sale for $32. So there can be some good deals found on a set like that if you really want to pick it up. And I think the same can be said for our next stay away in the 75257 Millennium Falcon from the Rise of Skywalker. Like, look, you can find a great deal on it for like $120. You're not going to be unhappy with this set. But I think it's a stay away because I think there's a better version of the Falcon out now. I think there's a better version of the Falcon on the horizon in the next 3 years. I think you can get the Dark Falcon, and it's just a cooler looking Millennium Falcon. Now, you might not be into a non-canon Millennium Falcon, and I get that. Like, that makes sense to me if you really want that Rise of Skywalker one go wild. But I think come 2027, they will release a new original trilogy Millennium Falcon playset. They haven't done an original trilogy Millennium Falcon playset since 2011. It's so overdue, it's not even funny. Now, for no other reason than I think it's unnecessary to buy, and there's so much better stuff you can buy with $240. The 75341 UCS Luke's Landspeeder is a stay away to me. And the previously exclusive C-3PO figure with that dual molded leg, it's now in the $140 C-3PO. For the same price as Luke's Landspeeder, you can buy that C-3PO and R2. I think that looks so cool on the display back there. The Luke's Landspeeder does not look that cool. So Luke's Landspeeder to me is a stay away. And the final stay away, I would feel bad if you buy this. The 75308 R2D2. Unless you really want the 50th anniversary of Lucasfilm brick that's included in that set, why are you buying the set? There's a better version of R2D2 that costs less than half the price and includes Darth Malak. So, in my opinion, the $100 R2 clears the $240 R2. I would stay away from that $240 R2. Now, we have 5 sets that I think you gotta buy before they retire. With the honorable mention of the 40676, the Phantom Menace Brickheads. I just didn't want to put a Brickheads in my must-buy list because I know it's like a 50-50 split in the community of people that actually care about Brickheads. But that Brickheads is retiring. Keep an eye out on it because it's got a lot of cool characters and it will have only been out for 6, 7, 8 months. You're going to want to own that one if you want it. But I said this exact same thing back in February. The Commander Cody helmet set is retiring while the Captain Rex helmet set is not. And so if you wanted to have them both, you got to get that Commander Cody one before it retires. Also, just given that it will have a shorter shelf life, therefore have lower quantity out there in the market, it will be more expensive long term than the Captain Rex helmet, very likely. The next must buy I have is the E-Wing versus Shin Hades Starfighter, and I just think these are two ships that LEGO Star Wars is very unlikely to revisit in any short amount of time period. Like, you look at builds like the TIE Bomber and TIE Interceptor that took 20 years to appear. You really think they're going to make a new E-Wing and a new Shin Hades Starfighter in the next 5 years? It probably ain't happening. So if you want those two ships, especially the E-Wing, I feel like is the cooler of the two, but either way, if you want those two ships, you got to get them in this set. It's a great combo set anyway. It's got great minifigures, and there's also the Baylan Skoll thing. You know, unfortunately, the actor passed away, and it's really sad, and it just opens up a large amount of questions about what will happen to the character going into an Ahsoka Season 2. And of course, as trivial as it is to everything else in comparison, like, what will LEGO do in the future? Will they make a new figure or not? Like, if you want a Baylan Skoll because he's such a cool character and the actor was a great actor, get this set, get the figure, and be done, and you can just enjoy it and appreciate it for what it is, and you don't have to worry about it. So I think that's a must-buy set for quite a few different reasons there. Next up, the 75348 TIE Interceptor versus Mandalorian Fang Fighter set is a must-buy in my opinion, simply because of how great the TIE Interceptor is. The Fang Fighter's nice, the figures are pretty alright, but the TIE Interceptor, you gotta have that TIE Interceptor. I frankly think for most collectors, it might be better than buying the UCS set. Like, some of these playset builds have just gotten that good. You can throw it on your display and it looks amazing. You might need to get a stand or build a little stand for it to have it look optimal, but it can still look very good. Like, I don't have enough stand. It still looks great down there. Now, the next two must-buys could flip-flop their order, but I'll start with the 75290 Mos Eisley Cantina. This is regarded by everyone, like, in the moment, everyone knows it, is one of the best, if not the best playsets of all time at a $400 price for collectors playset, right? But regardless, display, play, whatever, it's a beautiful set. It looks amazing for display when you bring in all those minifigs. It also has like 6 or 7 exclusive minifigures. So why would you pass up the opportunity to get a bunch of those? They're not releasing all these exclusive minifigs and microfighters. The Captain Rex situation is not the norm with LEGO Star Wars. Those figures just probably aren't going to find their way into another set. Maybe ever, if not in a long, long time. So the $400 Mos Eisley Cantina is the buy to get a lot of those side characters from the Cantina. That's just how it is. I don't see it as something wrong or bad. It's cool. You get exclusive figures when you buy the expensive set. That's the point. So if you wanted those, you're going to need to buy that. It is also the type of set as we enter this final stretch of 2024 that I really would not wait for. I'll put my affiliate link for it in the description below if you want to pick it up sooner rather than later. Maybe you can get a Lego double VIP points at this point. Maybe there's a couple of good GWP promos happening that you could pick up when you buy the set, but I wouldn't bank on this set going 20-30% off. It could happen. Lego could have a Black Friday sale for it, but if it does, it would probably sell fast. There's a lot at play there, and if you've been waiting this long to buy the set, you are very much running the risk of it selling out at any point in the next couple months, and it's not going to come back in stock, and that's it. Like, that could very well happen to you, and I don't want to FOMO you into buying the thing, you know what I mean? But I also don't want people to not buy it and be like, oh, I was waiting for a sale and it never went on sale, and then you don't get it. Make your own decision there, but I would advise buying it sooner rather than later for most people. Now, the final must-buy set, in my opinion, for retiring sets at the end of 2024 is the UCS AT-AT. I've been high on this set since the day it got rumored. The UCS AT-AT is such a great build. The figures are all right. It's not the Mos Eisley Cantina as far as figures go. There's nothing too crazy in there as far as exclusives go, but it's a great, amazing model that I feel like if you're like a real Lego Star Wars collector, I don't know if real is the right word, but like if you're a mega fan, you really like the stuff. You got $850 to blow on an AT-AT. What are you waiting for, man? Like the UCS AT-AT for the longest time didn't happen because of some structural stuff, and it's just the type of set that should have been out longer. I think the UCS Falcon should have retired this year in its place, and it should have gone on. I don't know why it's retiring relatively fast. It is and it isn't, I guess, but the point is you should buy the set if you wanted it because it just feels like the type. Like, they're not just going to remake it in 3 years, you know? It's going to be retired, and they won't make another UCS AT-AT for at least a decade. Now I'm just going to quickly run through the list of every other Lego Star Wars set that's supposed to retire by the end of the year so that you're all on the same page. Everyone knows what's retiring. So first up, we got the Boba Fett Starship Microfighter. Then we've got the Pirate Snub Fighter, which actually might be a good buy because Vane is supposed to show up in, I think, Skeleton Crew. And so if you wanted that figure from Skeleton Crew, he'll be there from the Mandalorian set. Then we have the Princess Leia Boushh helmet. We've got the Emperor's Throne Room diorama as well as the Endor diorama. And those ones, when I made my video back in February, I said I hadn't really seen on sale. Well, they've recently been on sale for really dang cheap, pretty close to 50% off. So keep your eye out for sales on those two sets in particular because they've been deeply discounted. We've also got the Tennu Jedi Temple. I'm sure that one will be deeply discounted as well. We've got the Yoda's Jedi Starfighter, which is part of the 3-in-1 at Walmart that you can get all together, all three sets for $50. So if you're going to buy that one, I think buying the 3-in-1 just makes the most sense. But I've also seen it on sale for like $22. I'll put an affiliate link down in the description below if I can find that one still on sale. We've got the Mandalorian's N1 Starfighter Microfighter, the big $170 Yavin 4 Rebel base with all of its minifigures. We got the Darth Vader mech, the Stormtrooper mech, and the Boba Fett mech all retiring. The big Chewbacca build is retiring, and that one's also been on sale. I think as cheap as about $128, down from $200. So that's a really good deal if you really liked that set. Some people did, some people didn't. And then finally, the Tusken Raider Brickheads is on its way out. So that is every Lego Star Wars set retiring at the end of 2024. Pretty much the official list, the final list. There should be no more extensions at this point. Everything that was extended happened over the summer, I think, so I just figured it's a good time to make an update video, as it's basically your last chance now over these next few months to pick up a lot of these Lego Star Wars sets before you're going to have to spend more money on eBay, Bricklink, whatnot, etc. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed, and subscribe so that next February when I make my next retiring update video, you won't miss it. See ya.